Hello, welcome to the video. My name is Rain Thime, and today I'm going to be doing the Pandaemonium raids. Now, they came out quite a few months ago, I think, by now, and did start the quest line, but I don't remember anything about it. So I'm going to be going back here with the cutscene viewer that they have in the inns, and I'm going to go through the ones leading up to the first raid. I'll put a timestamp down in the comments below, and you can skip right to the fights. But let's start here because I don't remember any of this. Here's the crystal in question. If it resembles aught you have encountered before, even by the smallest degree, please say so. Ah, yeah, it's like one of those. Yeah, these. Back, it's like the ones that Asphodelos gave us. As I thought, you do know what this is. Please, tell me everything. I see. The Asians use these to transfer their memories to new vessels. Fascinating indeed. It's kind of like the. Now that I think about it, it's kind of like the soul crystal things we used, or the vessels that we used with Graha back in patch 5.3, was it? I didn't make that connection until now. I don't think they're exactly similar, but it's pretty similar in function. It was plain that this crystal was special somehow, but this revelation surpasses even my considerable expectations. Similar artifacts have appeared throughout the ages, memories of martial techniques manifested as crystalline shards on the battlefield, or storied stones passed from master to student. So yeah, those like are job stones. A comparison between said artifacts and this crystal may prove a fruitful first step in unveiling its true nature. What do you think, Professor? Asian memories, windows through which we can gaze upon the convocation of 14. Unlike the crystal in Rain's story, this one does not bear the mark of the convocation. Who, then, could these memories belong to? And more importantly, why were they stored in this particular shard? More importantly still, why was it set adrift on the ethereal sea? I forgot it's where we found it. Well, where they found it anyways. Professor. Professor. Claudian. Huh? Yes? I'm well aware that contemplation is the key to breakthrough, but there is propriety to consider. We have a guest, one you invited explicitly. Must we do this every time? What? Ah, yes, of course, our guest. Terribly sorry. I do so easily find myself unmoored by the tides of rumination. Perhaps a more engaging use of your time with us would be for you to take up that crystal. If indeed there are memories stored within, They may reveal themselves to you upon contact. If anyone, message, come, Pandaemonium, please. Faces, grave threat, star, in danger. That expression does not bode well. What did you see? Pandaemonium. 'Tis not a word I have heard before. If my knowledge of the ancient tongue serves me, it means all demons. Not a name that inspires optimism, all things considered. In the event that another star-shattering cataclysm is in fact bearing down upon us, I would have the aforementioned examples of crystallized memory to hand. Nemgigi, Ruisinol. I entrust their procurement to you. If there are more memories to be extracted from this crystal, we will find them. As for you, Rain, there is a person I would have you seek, the one who has delivered so dire a warning. Your story tells us that this crystal could very well have been made by one of the ancients. Sorry about that, it's my phone. If that is the case, then discerning the nature of this pandemonium would require a trip far into the past, to an era before the Sundering. I know of only one individual capable of such a feat, the very hero who traversed time to prevent the world's doom. I must confess, the tales people tell of your adventures beggar belief, and their veracity has been a subject of much debate among my peers. After today's meeting, however, there can be no doubt in my mind that every incredible exploit is fact. So I ask you now, return to the past, find out what and where Pandaemonium is, and if we need be concerned by this message. Thank you. For the time being, you should keep the crystal in your possession. I do not think you have seen the last of its memories, and more may be drawn out as you approach their source. Safe travels, and may we meet again soon to share our findings. Sorry if my voice is a little rough here. This is my first time reading out the dialogue out loud. So. Alright, cutscene 2. We're crossing over to Elpis. See, like, I remember bits and pieces, but I don't remember most of, like, what we talked about in these cutscenes, which is one of the reasons I'm going back. If receives this message. That's the whole message, that's it. I thought it was going to continue. Here we go. Come, Pandaemonium, quickly. That was a short one. Cutscene 3. Let's jump right into it. Oof. personal. Apologies, but for the briefest moment, I thought you to be a dear friend of mine. I realize now that such a notion is preposterous. He told me a falling star would appear before me, and so I suppose you must be it. Truth be told, I did not expect the expression to be so literal. Oh, well, another short one. Apologies for not introducing myself properly. My name is Themeus, and as you can see by my bare face, I am not one of Elphis's observers. Rather, I am come here on an assignment, which has been more or less routine up until this very moment. You certainly do know how to make an entrance. I wonder what brought you here, for it is plain you do not belong here, or any place I know for that matter. I am Azim's familiar. Azim. I forgot which one was the one. I forgot which one was the proper pronunciation. It appears my initial impression was not so preposterous after all. I did not know my friend had such a unique familiar at his disposal. If you are here at Azim's behest, then I believe I can hazard a guess as to your purpose. You are here to investigate Pandaemonium, yes? If so, we may be able to help one another. But first, might I trouble you to explain how you came to collide with my skull? I see. I believe that dispels any major doubts I had concerning your intentions. Apologies for being so intrusive, but you must understand this is an uncommon occurrence. I shall pry no further, for I am well aware that we all have secrets we must keep. However, if I may, I would very much like to take a look at this crystal of yours. Fascinating. While I cannot say much as to what it contains, it is clear that there are memories stirring within. Memories that speak of something gravely amiss in Pandaemonium. The facility extends beneath Elpis and is overseen by the words of La Habrea. It houses those creations that are highly valued as research subjects, and highly dangerous to the star. Naturally, it is strictly guarded and under constant surveillance. Several days ago, however, an unnatural shift in the flow of its surrounding aether was detected. Soon thereafter, all communications from Pandaemonium ceased. I am here as a representative of an organization that works directly with the Convocation, and have been tasked with investigating this incident. Now that there is some measure of transparency between us, Might I offer a suggestion as to what we should do next? Okay, and that's all the cutscenes. But I think there was a little bit in between those as well. I feel like there's a point where we talked to a couple people standing around. I think maybe we talked to one of the words of La Brea at one point. I don't remember all that much what he said, but I think they tried to like downplay what was happening in Pandaemonium, if I remember correctly. And I feel like maybe there should be a more concerned response to having no communication within a research facility. Like, isn't that... Yeah. But another thing I've kind of thought this, maybe this is obvious, or maybe this is like some, or maybe this is some like way off the mark guess, and I'm wrong, but I feel like the kid is just Elidibus, right? Like that feels like who that is. Does that make sense? But it's just the younger version of him. But I'm curious as to what's actually happening inside the facility. So I'll probably jump into that here in a minute. The first circle. I don't remember if this came out in patch 6.0 or 6.1. I don't remember. But either way, it's been quite a few months since it came out. Finally getting around to it today. I'm going in blind here, so hopefully this goes well. Hopefully we don't die too many times. Alright, there we are. The first circle, let's go. I'll save them. I must. This appears to be one of the warders we seek, but I'm afraid he is in no state to answer questions. Cool. I can't say that name. I don't know what it is. It's too hard. Alright, here we go. Side? Yeah. I do not know how this works. Over here. Wait. Okay, so you go to the opposite color and then they go down one each time. Okay, I think that's it. So I gotta go over here? Yeah. That's cool. Oh, I've seen this, I think, but I don't know what it is. Ouch. Chain. So now do I stand on the red? Okay. I think I get it. So, stay on the red, because the circle goes on, right? Oh shit. So he's doing the other mechanics as well, I think. Okay, so now I gotta go over here, right? Yeah, okay. So the mechanics are overlapping. Oh, it moves with me, so I guess I just have to get hit, right? Ah, shit, it knocks you back? Oh, I didn't know that. Aether flail over there, and then I got yellow orange orbs, so I gotta stand on the light here. Stand over here. So when this goes off, the bottom one will disappear. That. Now I need an orange one, so I'll come over here with these guys. Shit, I didn't see it. No. I wasn't watching the past ball. Alright, that's pretty good. I like that fight. I feel like if you're able to figure things out mid-fight, then you've designed the fight pretty well. What is all this? Got a bunch of stuff in my inventory. Alright, let's see what's up. That was a thrilling display, and if I may be so vaunting, the warriors I spun from your Aether fought even more splendidly than I had anticipated. I suppose they were cut from excellent cloth, after all. We should wait until this man regains his senses. He wears the robes of a warder, and I would be very curious to know what drove him to attack us. Sight unseen. Rain, he stirs. What came over me? It's coming back to me. My mind was filled with a storm of desperation, anger. I leapt at you, though I knew not of your intentions. Pray accept my apologies, and my thanks. Had you not knocked some sense back into me, I may have fallen upon someone less capable of defending themselves. I am Asphodelos, a warder of Asphodelos. I can't say these words, man. Pandaemonium's highest lair, and we're in the place we're in now. One must wonder why you were so desperate to keep us out. What is happening in Pandaemonium? The creations interred within okay, hang on. I'm googling this. How do I say this? The creations interred within Asphodelos have been set free and stalk its halls to no ends but violence. That is not good, to say the least. Has this ever happened before? No, never. Each level of Pandaemonium is under the charge of a key ward who keeps strict control over the most minute aspects of their domain. They're selected with great care, and their loyalty to Master La Brea is absolute. Yet something has gone terribly wrong. Try as we might to hold the line, the chaos within is overwhelming. I hardly realized that I had become separated from my colleagues. I remember a chorus of whispers assailing my senses, and afterwards only flashes of rage and fury, then blackness, from which I awoke to find that whatever had overcome me was gone. I see. Your senses may have been muddled by magics that affect the mind, perhaps the self-same ones that saw you separated from the other warders. Whatever had taken hold of me, thank you for releasing me from its clutches. That you've come here from the surface must mean some word of our plight has reached the outside world. If you know anything that may help, pray tell. Horror among horrors. So Pandaemonium's protections are indeed being dismantled from within. By the same individual, or individuals that released its captives and set them upon you, no doubt. Such knowledge avails us little, however, if we cannot ascertain their identity. Timaeus, was it? You said you worked for an organization under the auspices of the Convocation. Were they to receive word of what has transpired here, what measures would they take? Doubtless they would consider this place to be a lost cause. Pandaemonium's ties to the outside world would be severed, or perhaps it would be wiped from existence entirely. As I thought. Were the creatures to escape into the outside world, there would be untold carnage. The words of La Brea would never risk that, despite what value the research subjects may hold. All the more reason to work with haste. If we can't expect further help, then it falls upon me to save the others. I'll not leave them behind. You would go alone? I won't leave the other warders to face certain doom. I know they fight for survival even now. They wouldn't abandon their duty. They would see the creatures return to their cells at all costs. And so I must do the same. Timaeus, I know the request I'm about to make of you is a monumental one, but please, say not a word of this to the convocation until I've been given a chance to set things right. Forgive me my rudeness, Asphodelos, but my decision cannot be swayed by emotion. You would only be consigning yourself to an early death. Strength of resolve alone cannot win in the face of overwhelming odds. That being said, our investigation has only just begun, and we would be remiss to turn back ere we've made an exhaustive survey. So, for the time being, there is slightly more than resolve to rely upon. I knew you would be all too eager to join us. Each moment since you fell from the skies had been more interesting than the last. More and more you remind me of my dear friend. Which goes some way towards encouraging me that this matter will yet reach a satisfactory conclusion. So, you agree to help? For the moment, our goals align. The protective magics of Pandaemonium yet hold, so for the moment time is in our favor. Let us proceed upon the course you and Rain have set us upon. Timaeus and Rain, yes? Thank you. The warders owe you a great debt already. We shall be glad to have someone familiar with Pandaemonium's halls by our side. A party of 3 is ever so much more entertaining than a pair of 2. Now, let us turn our attention to rescuing your colleagues. Perhaps it would be wise to approach the gates in case any have followed you out. Okay. Sounds good to me. What have you got to say about this, Timaeus? It seems our investigation will be quite the ordeal after all. Still, I find it hard to believe that La Brea knows not of what has transpired here. Whoever the mastermind of this crisis is, they do not lack for power and cunning. I wonder who would want to set the things inside free. Like, what's there to be gained from that? Under the surface. Not a sound can be heard from within, which means neither creature nor warder has made it this far. We should begin forming a plan to save them at once. Forgive me if I misunderstand, but do you mean to rescue the warders and creations both? Naturally, although they may be dangerous, they're valuable research subjects. I wouldn't see our labor, our untold hours of study, go to waste. I dare say La Habrea would smile to hear you say such a thing. That is, if we had cause to report this incident to him. Smile? I'm not sure his face is capable of such warmth. Ah, so you have met him before. I was under the impression he rarely visited Pandaemonium. I have, yes. My mentor was the previous head of this facility, that is to say, La Habrea's predecessor in the position of Chief Key Ward. Her name was Athena, and she was a researcher with the words. 'Twas she who appointed me to this position, in fact. I see. I did not know there was a Chief Key Ward before La Habrea. Your motivation to save your research subjects is not entirely driven by duty to the words, then. You wish also to preserve the work of your mentor. You've the right of it. I'm lacking in ideas of how to go about that, however. I'm a mere warder and cannot wield internment magics. Then who can? And what are those? Ah, but of course, I can hardly expect you to be versed in the magics we use. Here, if you recall during our battle earlier, I bound you in ethereal shackles. Internment is a more refined and powerful magic based upon the same principles. While both are used to keep our subjects docile, only the keyword of each tier is permitted to use internment. Even if I were allowed, I lack the aptitude to use the spell to any notable effect. Fascinating. I have some knowledge of these forms of spellcraft, actually. La Habrea himself established their foundation, if I recall. While shackles are meant to bind an object in place for a short time, internment freezes the very space around it for as long as the caster wills. Indeed, while the illusionary beings you summoned in our fight suggests as much, I see your knowledge of magic is vast. Perhaps you've already mastered the art of internment, and I've been lecturing you like a child all this time. I'm afraid my knowledge ends there. I have not the precise understanding of how the invocations interact with natural laws that would be needed to cast said spells with any consistency. While I consider myself well versed in various magics, I would be ill-advised to assume the duties of keyboard without instruction. That being said, if I were to learn more of internment and its inner workings, perhaps. Well, you have a warder standing in front of you. Well, the solution is obvious when you put it like that. Asphodelos, you implied that what prevented you from performing internment was a lack of magical capacity. What if I supplemented your power with my own? Would the spell succeed then? I can't say for certain. I've never heard of such a thing being done. I believe it may be our best recourse. That is, of course, assuming you can perform the initial rites and incantations flawlessly. Even the smallest misstep and we would have to start over. You needn't worry about that. I've seen the spells cast so many times that their motions have been burned into my memory. I won't disappoint. Very well, let us work out the specifics afterwards. Once we do, we can test out our methods on one of the escaped creatures, though I suppose there is the matter of finding one. It would be foolish to run in blindly lest we find ourselves surrounded with naught but an untested stratagem at our disposal. Nay, I would prefer to engage a single creature that Rain could dispatch on his own if the spell were to go awry. I agree, and I may have an idea in that regard. I recall seeing the hippocampus wandering the waterways during my fight. Perhaps it's still there. Few of the subjects housed within Asphodelos are fond of water, and I believe we'll be able to engage the beast without fear of unwanted guests. Then that shall be our first target, or perhaps subject is a better term. Before we commence with the internment magics, the creature should be weakened to a sufficient degree. I believe I can trust you with that task. as dependable as ever. Once you have given it a thorough trouncing, we shall bind this hippocampus with the keyword's magic. Until then, my illusions shall fight by your side. The hippocampus will be alone, but it's a daunting opponent nonetheless. Its magic warps the environment around it, and it will be at home amidst the waterways. Steel yourself for a fight. Alright, sounds like we're ready for the second circle. Alright, here we go. Wait, before that, what do you have to say? Athena ever drove home the fact that our subjects should be treated with the utmost care. It would be best if we could see them confined once again rather than disposed of like beasts gone feral. I take it we are each ready to fulfill our respective roles. Truth be told, this will be the first time I have practiced magic that requires such a degree of cooperation between parties. How thrilling. Alright, second circle, let's see what it's about. Get some nice tombstones as well. The tombstones will be useful because I still need to replace my coat and boots. I switched to machinist recently and I'm just getting it geared up now. Spent the last week or so leveling it. Alright, and oh. Yeah, okay, here we go. Oh, here it comes. What is that? Did it? Was its front and back connected? Or? No, it's not. It's just floating. Is that a... Okay. It's kind of like a mouth. Oh, okay. Alright. Probably just end up having to, like, follow someone going through this. Because I have no idea what's gonna happen. And people in chat are already like, oh man, I hate this boss. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, what do I do? Wait, what is this? Okay. Okay, so then over yeah. That's why here, So far, not too bad. Okay. Now the water rises again. Beginning to overflow. This feels bad. Yeah. Eruption? Oh. Is this... Okay. That's not bad. Oh shit. Is this... Okay, so the tail does a wider arc on the AoEs there. It's like a tail swipe sort of thing. Okay, so now we stab. That. We got okay, fuck. There we go. Easy. Ah. No, I've seen this cast. Okay, it's just that one again. Do another. Oh shit. Okay, oh shit, okay. Ouch. That hurts. I think we got it. 4% down. All right, GG. All right, that was a pretty good fight. It wasn't too bad. It seems like it's okay. I liked it. Awesome, so that works too. It took me a while to figure out what the AoEs were on that part where it was like turn. Where it was like those circles with like the arrows. You know what I mean? I don't know what I can get with these. I'm just gonna leave. If I need him, I'll come back later. That was a trial by fire. Or water, I suppose. But I had faith we would see it through. So long as we had your stout arm, of course. I knew that you were no mere mercenary, but to make such clean work of the hippocampus, seasoned fighters scarcely have occasion to visit Pandaemonium, let alone display their skills. Mastery takes all forms indeed. Needless to say, our plan worked to perfection, in no small part thanks to you two. Timaeus' power was more than enough to complete the internment. Spellcasting was never my strong suit, but that almost made me feel like a proper magos. Truly. Having seen your abilities firsthand in your fight with Rain, I beg to disagree. Shackles is the one exception, and 'tis only because I've been forced to practice it since I was but a small child. Other magics leave me feeling completely out of my depth. Regardless, it seems luck is on my side to guide me to you. We may prove the impossible possible after all. Alright, that's cool. After witnessing the hippocampus's capabilities, I should not blame you for wishing to avoid engaging any further creations in the place of their choosing. Alas, I doubt we will have that luxury. I imagine that fight's like really difficult on Savage mode, because that's the newer raids that people are progging now, isn't it? I think it's the Savage versions. Hey, it's me. I'm editing this now, and I realize it's gotten a bit long. I'm probably going to have to cut it down and end it here, most likely, which is the first two fights. And I think I'm going to make another video, and I'm going to have the second two fights there. And we'll just, because it's going to be like a day to upload this, otherwise. So yeah, this is just going to have to end here. Thanks for watching.